Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here. Thanks for coming early, everyone. Nice to see everyone in the chat. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are watching from. Alright, today we have a team leak. So really exciting. Um, very interesting transfers also from everyone. Those of you guys who have been interacting with me in the comments as well, we see a lot of different transfer moves being made this week. So really exciting game week 4. I feel like it's gonna be the game week where a lot of us are going to start deviating from the template. So that's gonna be very interesting, right? Thanks for coming early, guys. Husam, Naji, FUT, Whitney, VJ is here as well. Samyam, Bosco as well, member in the chat. Really nice. If you guys would like to join as members as well, you can click the join button next to the subscribe icon. If you guys are watching the stream from the website, if not, you guys can also click the link in the description, right? Yeah, I've seen a couple of you guys also mentioning about Isak, the new signing from Newcastle, right? There's gonna be a real interesting player because as we'll see later in the team news, Wilson is now injured again, right? He is very injury prone, so he is injured again, right? So let's take a look at the team news later. Right, a couple of you guys have been asking me to rate your teams. Alright, let's answer a little bit of the questions in the chat before we get on with the content, right? Alright, Samyam says rate my team. Sanchez, defense, Cancelo, Trent, Trippier, midfield, Gundogan, Martinelli, Salah, Rodrigo, forward, Tony, Kane, and Jesus. So the preferred front three for me right now is definitely Tony, Kane, and Jesus, right? Especially because Kane currently has Nottingham Forest at home. Right? Nottingham Forest away, right? Apologies for that. Nottingham Forest away, which is a really good fixture. So a lot of people are thinking about jumping early because we all know that Haaland could be rotated in game week 5, right? So some of you guys are jumping early and getting Kane in first, right? So I mean there is good reason to do that, right? But if I was wildcarding or if you already have Kane in your team, I actually feel like the preferred front three is Tony, Kane, and Jesus, right? So pretty much like your team as well. I like the forward line, like the midfield, probably the preferred midfield as well, right? Gundogan, I've also brought him into my team. The transfer's already been made, right? Yeah, I think Gundogan has been taking up a lot of good positions as well, right? So really like the Gundogan pick, right? And then the back three, the back three is pretty strong as well, right? Bosco says 1:02 a.m. in Hong Kong. Nice to see you tuning in. Isak or Tony. I think it's a little too early to jump on Isak. I think let's take a look at the way that the Newcastle team reacts as well, right? If he comes in and plays straight away in game week 4, I think that gives us a little bit of idea as well. Right, Bosco says Isak's stat isn't great even in La Liga. Yeah, I mean, I think in recent times he kind of dipped in form. Previously, he was doing really well, right? So I mean, we'll give him a bit of time. Yeah, exactly as you said, right? Give him a bit more time. Tony is definitely much much safer. Right, okay. So let's take a look at some of the content that I have planned, right? Right, so I guess we should start off with looking at some of the transfers in and also the transfers out, right? So most transfers in this week, I mean, it's not even a surprise, right? Rodrigo is up there, Perisic as well, right? Not even a surprise. Both of them have done really well, right? Trippier as well scored a free kick last game week, so not a surprise there. Ivan Toney also has been pretty consistent, right? 3 games, 3 returns for him. Saliba as well popped up with a good goal. As for Zaha, later on, you guys will see the team news as well. But over 300k people have transferred him in, right? So pretty interesting there, and the rest pretty average picks, right? All players that are I guess we can start to bring in. I think De Bruyne, a lot of people are bringing De Bruyne, right? For me, I've brought in Gundogan, right? But the reason why I've gone for Gundogan, as I mentioned in the team selection video, right, is because I could possibly ship Haaland out next week, and if I do that, then I do want a Man City attacker still, right? So because of that, I'm gonna have Gundogan in the team and then possibly do the Haaland to Kane switch, right? That's only a as in it's a contingency plan for me to still have a Man City attacker if I do the Haaland to Kane switch. But if there's every chance that I don't as well, right? We do have to see the news, right? Someone in the chat has already leaked the team news, right? Yeah. So Zaha is injured. Later I will show you guys the source for the team leak, right? All right. So that's the most transfers in, right? For the most transfers out, I mean, no surprise, Koulibaly as well, right? But I have Trent Alexander-Arnold is actually 400 has actually 400,000 transfers out, right? So that is actually pretty shocking to me. Pretty shocking because I still do feel like we need to give Liverpool a little bit more time, right? And players like Trent, he's been proven season after season that he is a good asset. And based on the the stats, his attacking stats as well, it has been pretty good, right? So he's just not getting the returns because it's not being converted into goals right now, right? But I feel like when Liverpool picks up, that's when we're gonna see Trent's returns start to pick up as well. So definitely not gonna sell Trent, right? But 400,000 people have done it, right? So very interesting. Saka as well, right? Some people have lost patience, including me, right? So I've brought Saka down to Gundogan, right? As you guys can see in the in my team in the previous slide. So Neto as well, right? Dropped 2 mil in value. 0.2 mil in value, right? So it's 5.3 mil now, right? And then yeah, the other transfers, Darwin, Son as well, right? So onto the team news, right? Just quickly, this is just based on the press conferences, right? This isn't the league, the team leak, right? But based on the press conferences, we'll just quickly skim through, right? Liverpool, no injury returnees yet, so basically the same squad as they had when they played Manchester United. Arsenal as well, no new injury concerns. Manchester City, Bernardo's set to stay, right? So a lot of talk has been about whether Bernardo Silva is going to leave Manchester City, but Pep has actually come out to say that Bernardo Silva is no longer going to leave. So that may be kind of bad news for Gundogan owners like me, but I feel like based on the last game week where we saw Bernardo Silva and Gundogan both play in the starting 11, right, I think we could see a little bit more of that because that actually favors the natural number 9 more. Right, when you have a natural number 9, I think the formation that he played, that Pep played last game week, right, kind of suits that a little bit more, right? So we'll see how it goes. Martial is injured again, right? So Rashford is definitely one of the players that could, really benefit, right? Possibly Ronaldo may start as well, right? Given that Martial is injured, right? For the rest, pretty much Wilson is injured, right? Mentioned that just now, right? So Isak may come in. Right, depends on whether he's ready and fit, right? Dominic Calvert-Lewin also set for game week 7 return, right? Crystal Palace says here no fresh injury worries, but actually Zaha is injured. I will show you guys the leak later, right? And as for the rest, I think nothing too much to mention. Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the leak, right? So this is basically Twitter, right, where I get all the leaks, and this is one of the more credible sources, right? Team News and Ticks, right? So basically, quite an established account for leaks, right? So he's actually how the conversation actually went, right? Is that FPL Harry said benching decision ranking, right, and listed a number of players here, and basically, Team News and Ticks has said, at least one of these is getting 0 points, right? And then he goes on to say he's going to reveal it on his Instagram, right, at 4:30 UK time, right? So we're past that. So I go over to Instagram, and basically Wilfred Zaha is injured, right? He hasn't traveled and he won't play tomorrow against City, right? That we did see after the Aston Villa game that he was limping a little bit, right? So he is confirmed to be injured based on the leak, right? Quite reliable, right? Based on I have been using this source, and it has been quite reliable. So I would say that I think this can be trusted, right? If not, I wouldn't show it to you guys, right? So Zaha hasn't travelled, won't play against City tomorrow, right? So to the 300k people who have transferred him in, right? Crystal Palace's fixtures actually look good after the Manchester City game, so maybe they've brought him in to kind of take advantage of that. But he is said to be injured, right? So, uh, you know, definitely the 300k managers who have transferred him in will have to take this hit, right? I mean, if I have Zaha in my team right now and I've received this information, I'd be tempted to just take him out as well, right? But I think these are the things that can happen, right? So probably would take a hit for that. Right. So just one last little part of the content is the draft town odds. Right, so a number of you guys have already told me to kind of spend a little bit more time on this. Right, some of you guys in the comments as well have said that this is actually some of the content that you prefer. Right, so I'll spend a little bit more time on it, and basically how I use these odds, right, is take for example, currently, let's say I'm receiving some questions on whether we should play Andreas Pereira against Arsenal or maybe Bailey on Neto, right? So how I actually use this is I basically take a look at the odds, right? So let's say Andreas Pereira, right? Fulham has actually 11% chance of winning against Arsenal, right? And basically, if they win, right, then they obviously have to score, right? So from an attacking perspective, I can kind of tell, right, whether there are attacking returns in store, right? So 11% for Fulham to win, right? And let's say you compare it to Leon Bailey, right, from Aston Villa, right? So Aston Villa have a 43% chance of winning West Ham, right? So based on this, right, I would actually start Leon Bailey ahead of Andreas Pereira, right? So I think this is some of the ways we can use the odds as well, right? And I guess it's a little bit more impartial, right? Based on if we go a little bit based on our gut, I mean, at the end of the day, FPL is a mix of gut feel, statistics, and also luck, right? But if we can base it on a little bit more of an impartial model, like things like the percentage of winning, right, based on the draft down odds, then I mean, we should use as much information as we can get, right? So yeah, I mean, this pretty much answers the kind of benching headaches as well, right? One of the ways that I actually use to kind of bench players. So 92% for Liverpool to win Bournemouth at home. I'm really expecting them to really bounce back. I mean, this is the perfect opportunity for Liverpool to bounce back. So yeah, I'm definitely hoping that those of us who have held on to I don't have Robertson at the moment because I've sold him, right? A little bit of a criminal move, but at this point in time, because of the transfers that I've made, I need to get Gundogan into, as explained just now, right? So that's why I've sold him, but I do expect Liverpool to really bounce back, right? And then Manchester City close after Liverpool, right? Up the fixture, up the odds as well, right? 85% to win Crystal Palace at home, right? And also Arsenal as well, right? 77% chance to win Fulham, right? So basically all the favourites are there, right? Manchester United 56% as well. I think this is a good time for people to jump on players like Rashford, etc., right? And then Brighton as well, right? They've been doing really well, but 52% to win Leeds. So actually Leeds also have a good chance, 48% chance for Leeds then, right, to win Brighton. So I think Rodrigo owners as well, right, a good chance there. I don't think that Brighton away is an easy fixture for Leeds, but I think thereafter it kind of gets good, right? So I guess if you're transferring in Rodrigo at this point in time, right, you probably may have to wait 1 week for the returns to come. But if they kind of perform the way they did against Chelsea, then every chance they could score well against Brighton as well, right? So next up, the clean sheet odds. So Liverpool 65%. I mean, the top of the clean sheet odds, right? Again, so I think those of you guys who are holding on to Robertson and also Trent, right? Those of you who have been loyal owners, I think this is actually possibly the week that you guys would start to reap the benefits, right? So hopefully Liverpool can find their form back, right? And then Manchester City as well. I mean, on top of this clean sheet odds, right? Now that we know that Zaha is injured, Zaha has been scoring a lot of Crystal Palace's goals, right? So 58% chance for Manchester City to keep a clean sheet. And I think if we add the fact that Zaha is out, then I think that just goes higher, right? So those of you with double City, maybe Ederson and Cancelo, maybe Cancelo and Walker, right? I think you guys are in for a treat, right? And then Arsenal as well, right? Next up, 48%, Chelsea 45%, right? Spurs also pretty high up the clean sheet odds, right? So I've just brought in Perisic. I think, hopefully he will do well there, right? Followed by Brentford and Brighton. So both of them actually pretty close, right, on the clean sheet odds percentage, right? So those with Raya, those with Sanchez as well, right? Similar chance of getting clean sheets there. Right, so that's pretty much the content. Right, let me get to the questions in the chat. Right. Fatality, is that how I pronounce? Fatality says Saka to Diaz or roll with upcoming fixture congestion. Good question. I'm losing a little bit of patience with Saka, but he does play Fulham at home, right? And I always say that once I've transferred him out, that's when he's gonna haul, right? So, but I think Diaz against, so I mean, just based on the odds that we saw just now as well, right? Liverpool is predicted to do pretty well, right? Even better than Arsenal against Fulham. So there is cause for that move, but if you don't feel like it's necessary, if there's no other fires to put out, right, I feel like it could be a little bit of a luxury move because Saka does have a very easy fixture as well. Yeah. All right. News on Zaha injured. Yeah, that's right. Hosam Naji says my team: Sanchez, Perisic, Zinchenko, Cancelo, Salah, Rodrigo, Martinelli, Saint-Maximin, Tony, Kane, and Jesus. Right, I like the front three, right, as mentioned. The back four, the back three, Perisic, Zinchenko, and Cancelo, pretty strong as well. Just missing Trent, right? But I think it's a little bit dangerous still to go without Trent. So I would try to fit Trent in, right? But the midfield is looking pretty alright, right? A good differential in Saint-Maximin as well. Right, Jonathan says, when will you make the Tony transfer? Are there upcoming fixtures not strong enough? The upcoming fixtures are really good. And I do want Tony, but the problem is I can't fit him in. Right, in the transfer targets video, I did say a lot of people all over the FPL community, right, especially those on Twitter as well, have been saying that they're finding it difficult to fit Tony in, and it's not a surprise because most of us have an 11.5 forward, right, in let's say Haaland or Kane, and then you have Jesus, and then probably a bench fodder as your third striker. So you do have to find a lot of funds to kind of upgrade Archer, let's say, or maybe Greenwood, right, at 4.5. You need a lot of funds to bring him up to Tony, right? So that's the problem I'm facing right now, and I decided to kind of give it a miss, right, and go for Gundogan instead. But if I could bring Tony in this week, I'd definitely do it. Yeah, Fatality says Saka to Diaz or roll. Yeah, I answered that already. Yeah, great for our rank. 400k people moving from Trent. Yeah, I really think that we should be holding on to Trent, right? As much as possible, try to stay calm. I mean, the last game week was a game week where a lot of unexpected results, happened. But we're not going to see this happen every game week, right? It was a little bit of a disaster game week, but we're not going to see this week in, week out, right? So those who moved from Trent, I think they may start to regret, right? Saliba and Diaz or Trippier and Tony for a -4. Or can just do Patterson to Trippier for free. I think I'd save the chance. I saved the hit and just go for Patterson to Trippier. Any news on Perisic starting? Right, so there has been talk about whether Perisic is injured, right? Because he was kind of limping towards the end of the previous game, right? But there has been a tweet put out by Tottenham, right, saying that that Perisic has been training, right? There's a picture of Perisic running with the ball. So I think he's fine. In the team news as well, right? In Fantasy Football Scout, there is also no news from Conte about any new injuries. So I think Perisic should be good to go. Right, Bosco says, is Walker a better choice than Zinchenko now after the news on Zaha injury? Yeah, I mean, definitely. Because now Zaha has been one of the key attackers for Crystal Palace. So with him out, I think Walker is one of the better choices. But with that said, I think there could be rotation in the coming game weeks. I mean, the fixture congestion is just really insane, right, in the coming game weeks. So I think a lot of players are prone to rotation, right? Haaland, Walker could be given a rest as well. Gundogan, right? He's in my team right now, but I think there's a possibility he could be rested as well, right? Trippier or Perisic? I would lean towards Perisic because this game week, the odds for Tottenham to get a clean sheet is much higher than Newcastle, right? And also for the way that they play, I actually prefer Perisic because he's actually playing more like a left forward actually based on the last game, and the positions he's getting into really really great. So that's why I kind of brought him in as well. I think there are concerns about whether he may be rotated in game week 5, right? Out of the next couple of game weeks, let's say 4, 5, 6, right? There is a chance that Perisic may not play every game, right? But even so, I think let's say he comes on 30 minutes in let's say game week 5, right? I think there's a chance he could get attacking returns as well, right? So I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, agree on Saka. Whole 8 mil mids have been disappointing. At this point in time, really, no 8 mil mids kind of shout out to me, right? So that's why I've also kind of gone with Gundogan, right? But if you have Saka as well, I mean, there's no issue with holding on to him, right? You save the transfer, yeah, you use the funds to get Tony next week. Yeah, it sounds like a good plan. Thoughts on the Rodrigo bandwagon? I think Rodrigo has really good fixtures, right? Rodrigo has really good fixtures coming up. So at this point, right, let's say he does play Brighton the next game, right? So I don't expect that to be an easy fixture, right? By no means is Brighton away an easy fixture for Leeds. So possibly those of you on the Rodrigo bandwagon can get him in early now to catch the price rises. He's risen a number of times already, so you can catch the price rise. But I think the returns may actually come against Everton onwards in the next game week 5, right? And obviously he's playing. He's currently playing as a striker, right? He's listed as a midfielder, but he's playing as a striker because Bamford isn't back yet. But when Bamford is back, I think his appeal actually goes down a little bit, right? So that's kind of why I haven't brought him in this week as well, right? I'll wait a little bit to kind of see whether Bamford is back as well, and if that happens, right, how does that affect Rodrigo's, where does he play, maybe attacking mid as well. So, and if that happens, right, then does his appeal go down? I'll take a look, analyze a little bit, and then maybe jump on him, right? So at this point in time, not expecting a lot of returns against Brighton for Rodrigo, right? VJ says Jensen or Gross. I prefer Gross. Right? I prefer Gross. I feel like Jensen has been getting some returns, right? But I much prefer the positions that Gross has been getting in, right? Much prefer that. All right. So let's move on to the predicted points from Fantasy Football Hub. So based on the Fantasy Football Hub ticker, I think this is a good way we can decide captaincy as well, right? Obviously, I have the metrics towards the end of the stream, right? But at this point in time, based on predicted points alone, right? This is Fantasy Football Hub, by the way. If you guys are interested, the link is in the description, right? But predicted points alone, Salah is really really exceeding the rest of the other players, right? 9.3 predicted points for Salah, right? So I think kind of a no-brainer to captain Salah, especially since he's playing Bournemouth at home, right? And I mean, they're looking to bounce back, so I would say Salah is a strong favourite for captaincy, right? As compared to last week, where it's kind of even between Jesus, Haaland, and Salah, right? This week, I think is a little clearer. Kane as well, right? If you guys want to go for a little more of a differential captain, Kane is a decent shout, right? 7.4 predicted points. Same for Trent and Son as well, right? They're all on 7.4. As for Luis Diaz, 6.8. Bruno Fernandes is actually up there at 6.7. Right, then Saka actually comes in, right? Fatality has been talking about Saka. Saka actually comes in at 6.2 here, right? Same as Jesus, right? So, I mean, pretty interesting. And then Robertson as well coming in at 6.1. So I mean, every chance that Robertson can start to reward the FPL managers who have been really loyal to him. So I think at this point in time, I will show the captaincy rubrics in a bit, but basically I really, really like Salah captain, right? So um, I'm probably going to captain him, so hoping he does well against Bournemouth. Right, so I'll pull up the captaincy rubrics and basically for those of you who are new to the rubrics, basically I come up with these rubrics every week to kind of see based on the stats, right? Who is the preferred captain, right? I give them a score based on all these stats, right? Player stats, team stats, etc. So based on the stats alone, right, Haaland actually comes up top, right? A lot of the statistics actually he far exceeds the other players on the list, right? I have Haaland, KDB, Salah, Jesus, Kane, and so on all on this list, right? He actually tops this list, but I mean I don't follow the metrics every week, but based on the metrics alone, they've been getting it right? 3 out of 3 game weeks. So another game week where I'm going against the metric, I'm gonna go Salah, right? So hopefully that pays off. I'm gonna go for Salah and then vice captain Jesus, right? I'm kind of thinking whether I should vice captain Haaland instead, right? So one of the more tougher decisions that I'm making, but I think vice captaincy may not be such a problem this week because Salah is most probably gonna play, right? As opposed to last week where we were all thinking whether the Manchester United and Liverpool game was gonna get cancelled. Right, Fatality asks, where am I from? I'm from Singapore. Right, so actually I'm streaming pretty late here in Singapore. Based on the last stream, some of the viewers in Singapore have been asking why I stream so late, but I think it's kind of a better timing for majority of the viewers because some of you guys are obviously from other countries like you, right? South Africa, right? So thanks for tuning in as well, right? Really nice to see that we're just connected across the globe, right? But yeah, so that's why I stream at this time so that a lot of the other viewers that I have as well can kind of tune in as well. Your plans with Haaland and Perisic in game week 5. Yeah, in game week 5, it's more likely that I may hold on. Perisic is probably a hold for me, right? So it really depends on the feel that we get about Haaland, right? If Haaland actually plays the full game against Crystal Palace, I think there's a very high chance that he gets rested against Nottingham Forest, right? And Pep already said there's going to be rotation. So if there's any transfer that I would make, it's possibly to swap Haaland out to Kane, right? But tough one. But I think tough one. But I think I'm kind of 60-40 to make the move right now, right? Just need a little bit more information. Adam Brick says, hey, remember me? You were the guy who helped me with my team. I have KDB and Trippier. Yeah, I mean, I've been interacting a lot with you guys in the comments, right? So thank you so much for commenting on the videos. It actually helps the algorithm as well, right? So nice to see you tuning in, Adam. Yeah, KDB and Trippier. I mean, we were discussing a lot about whether to have KDB or Gundogan or Haaland, right? But at this point in time, if I was wildcarding, I'd actually go for KDB, right? Probably one of the more nailed assets as well. And if Haaland is such a risk for rotation, right, then I think KDB is probably the one I'm going to go with. Right, Bosco says, may not be able to watch your live stream when it's weekdays. I'm still a student. I usually don't stream this late in the weekdays, right? Let's say, so the coming game week, game week 5, is actually midweek. Then I would have to stream on a weekday, kind of at this timing, closer to the deadline. So you may miss that one. But I think based on let's say Fridays, I like to do the streams on Fridays. So I just don't like to congest with all the other YouTubers on Saturday, right? So that's why I like to stream on Friday. But I guess I can kind of make it a little bit earlier, maybe half an hour earlier than today, right? So hopefully you can tune in from wherever you are watching, right? So most likely Fridays are kind of the days that I'll be streaming. Right, Fatality says Singapore, nice country. Yeah, definitely one of the. I mean, we're known to be one of the hubs for travel. Right, a lot of transiting flights come through our country. Yeah, I've been to Malaysia a couple of times. I think I'm going to captain Jesus after watching Fulham defense last week. They're horrible. I think one of the ways that we can kind of decide as well is the fixture odds, right? Let me pull it up for you. One of the ways that I decide who to captain is also the fixture odds, right? Which is in the metrics. So based on the fixture odds for Arsenal, right? You want to captain Jesus, right? This is the chance of clean sheet. So I'll put it to chance of winning. Right, Liverpool is actually 92% chance. Right, so if we're just gonna base it on stats, right, I actually prefer Salah a little bit more. Right, but if you're thinking that Jesus is gonna haul, right, then there's every reason to go with Jesus as well. But I think majority of the people are gonna be captaining Salah. So you'll probably be going against a couple of managers. So something to take note there. Ryan says, what's the reason for going against the captain table, or is it just a gut feel? So pull up the captain table again. So I think statistically wise, right, the all the data that's in this table. All right, I'll just go through it pretty quickly, right? Player stats, I'm taking the expected goals per 90 and expected assists per 90, as well as the goal involvement per 90. So all three of these stats actually kind of tell us, all three of these actually kind of tell us the quality of the chances or the quality of the balls that this particular player has been putting in, right? The potential to score as well as the potential to get an assist, right? So based on this data, we can actually kind of see the quality of chances this player is getting, and based on that, we can kind of see, is he due for a return in the coming game weeks based on the chances he's been getting every game. Right, and then expected points, also another metric that I use, and projected points as well, as you guys saw just now. If you look at this table, projected points for Salah is the highest, right, as I said just now. So all these player stats are taken into account in this table, and then the team stats as well takes into account the draft town odds for the more than 1 goal and also the more than 2.5 goal metric there, and then expected goals for the team and also shots on target per 90. Excuse me. So based on this table, statistically speaking, right, 42.5 points for Haaland, he's the top, right? But the reason why I go against the metric is sometimes the captaincy decisions are also based a little bit on gut feel, right? So at this point in time, I have a feeling that Salah is gonna haul, right? So, and he's not too far off the score as well, right? So yeah, really, I mean, there has been a couple of weeks I followed the metrics. There has been a couple of weeks I don't follow the metrics. So this is just gonna be one of those weeks where I don't. So hopefully it pays off. Last week I went Salah instead of Haaland, who was Haaland was the captain pick for last week as well. But for the majority of the game when I captained Salah, I really wasn't expecting a lot of returns from him, and the metric was almost going to be correct, right? But luckily Salah managed to get a return, right? So in the end, not too much difference. So still a 3 out of 3 success for the metric. Right, SK says, what were your moves? You have anything in the bank? Right, I have 0.7 million in the bank. Right, I'll release a transfer plans video every every start of the new game week, right, to let you guys have an idea of what I'm thinking, right? So I have 0.7 in the bank right now. I'm thinking there are a couple of moves I could be making, right? One of them obviously could be Haaland, right, based on the quote by Pep to kind of say that Haaland would be rotated, right? So that's a bit of a concern. So that's one of the moves, right? Possibly another one could be Neto, right? I could move Neto up. And another one of the moves could also be just Neco Williams up to maybe Saliba or maybe Dunk, right? Those are the possible moves I'm thinking of at this point in time. Helmi says, replacement of Ake. I have Cancelo, James, and Cucurella. Yeah, Ake is injured, right? Came off early in the last game. Depends. At this point in time, right, if you have funds to do Ake to Perisic, I would do Ake to Perisic. Bosco says, FPL official just made a tweet and asked about whether Zaha in our team. Luckily, you leaked his injury. Yeah, a lot of people went for Zaha because they wanted to move early. They thought that he's gonna rise in price, and based on his performances as well, he has been doing well. So there actually was a chance. I mean, Crystal Palace has always been a team that does pretty well against Man City, right? So maybe 300,000 of the FPL managers actually thought that they could, move early. But I think unluckily for them, right, the Zaha injury came, right? So very, very tough news for them. Vitality says, what are your views on Haaland to KDB in game week 5? KDB more nil. I think KDB is definitely more nil than Haaland. I think Pep already said the reason for resting Haaland. I think he's quite injury prone, right? As we saw from the amount of minutes he was getting in the Bundesliga, right? His statistics were crazy. He was getting a lot of goals, right, in very little games. So I think that's one of the amazing things about Haaland as well. But from a player comparison, right, based on minutes, right, if I were to compare KDB or Haaland, definitely KDB is more nailed. Right, Adam Brick says, I made changes since we talked. Took Sanchez out for Raya. I believe that Brentford had better fixtures. Took out Andreas for Colbeck. Midfielder that starts, but he has an illness. I think I really, really prefer Andreas over Colbeck based on the positions Andreas been getting in. Right, 3 bonus points for him based on the last game with just 1 assist as well. So I really favour Andreas. Right, but Sanchez for Raya. Took out Sanchez for Raya. I think the fixture ticker actually has Brighton and Brentford pretty comparable, right, on the fixture ticker. So I think you could, it's pretty tight between both of them. I favour Sanchez, but if you want to go with Raya, that's fine as well. Alright, Bosco says, should I go for Saliba plus a 0.6 mil in the bank or Walker and a 0.1 mil in the bank? Based on the clean sheet odds, Saliba has a 48% chance of keeping a clean sheet. Man City has a 58% chance, and we did say that Zaha is out as well. So I think if you're looking very, very short term, I think Walker is slightly better. But I actually would favour Walker based on immediate returns. But if you're talking about long term, possibly Saliba, because I think Walker may be rotated in the game week 5 game, right? He's one of the other players that I think could be rotated. So, I mean, risks involved there. Saliba. Hold on, let me think about it a little bit more. I think Saliba for 0.6 mil in the bank. I think it's better long term. Yeah, and the 0.6 can be used to upgrade other areas of your team. Arsenal's next couple of fixtures are pretty good. Yeah, I'll go for Saliba with 0.6 mil in the bank. And put Veltman in for Neco Williams. Yeah, Veltman, very, very good fixtures coming up for Brighton. So Veltman definitely much better than Neco Williams. But that's of course if you have enough funds. Why not Neto to Harrison or Aronson this game week? Because I already took a hit. I took my changes this week is in the team selection video. Right, what I basically done is I took Robertson out for Perisic. I brought Saka out for Gundogan, and also Reed up to Martinelli. Right, so these 3 changes that I've made. So I've already took a -4. Right, so I'm gonna kind of hope that Neco Williams gets another return. I mean, he has Bournemouth the next game week as well. Right, I did speak to a couple of people in the Wolves column on Twitter, right? People who follow Wolves a lot, right? And I mean, obviously, Neto is linked to other clubs at this point in time. So, uh, but what they say is that if Neto stays at Wolves, right, for this weekend, then he probably would start, right? Adama Traore actually scored in the midweek game, right, where Wolves actually played in the EFL Cup. So I was asking if Adama Traore was going to come in, right, and displace any of the players, but at this point, some of the Wolves columnists, right, they actually say that Neto is preferred, right? So, and the one to give way if Adama Traore comes in will be Podence. So, yeah, pretty confident that he will start. I mean, I'm hoping, of course, but not gonna take another hit. Right, Muhammad Helmi says, I have Son. What do you think? Shall I replace him? I have Salah, Jesus, and Tony. I think you can just keep him for this week. I mean, he has Nottingham Forest. I think no rush to take him out as well. Yeah, you can just keep him. So yeah, agreed. If but I really would like the Nottingham Forest game over the Crystal Palace at home game. So I wouldn't actually do the Son to KDB move. What's your thought on Isak? I think he's a wait and see. Hopefully he gets some game time this coming game week because Wilson is injured. So if he gets some game time, we're gonna get a little bit more information on whether he's a good asset to own. But I do like him as an asset. I did Andreas to call back to afford a 4.5 Brighton defender. Reason to get Raya, so fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's spreading your risk. Yeah, fair enough. FPL Josh is Raya, Trent, Cancelo, Perisic, Trippier, Salah, Martinelli, Rodrigo. I wouldn't drop Trent to go for Gundogan in midfield. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I think Trent is still an essential. I still believe that Trent is an essential, and if you don't have him in your wildcard team, it's gonna be harder to get him. He's quite expensive as a defender, right? One of the more expensive ones. So I would think that it'd be difficult to get up to Trent if you don't start with him. Right? And I actually think he's more essential than Gundogan, right? Gundogan is a little bit of a risk, right, in terms of the minutes he may get from game week 5, in game week 5. But I think just this game against Crystal Palace, he's probably going to start. Right? Game week 6, I think he starts as well. Right? So that's why looking at it from the next 3 game weeks wise, right, he has Crystal Palace here at home. Right? Nottingham Forest, he may get a couple of minutes, maybe 30 minutes if he doesn't start. Right? And then maybe another start in game week 6. So based on that, I actually like it. I actually like him as an asset. But if you don't have Trent, definitely go for Trent. Yeah. VJ says, is Harrison worth a shot in the next game weeks? I think Rodrigo is the better asset, but if you don't have enough money, right, like me where I don't have enough money, I possibly could be doing Neto up to Rodrigo next game week. Neto up to Harrison next game week. So I've seen a couple of people on Twitter go for Harrison instead. I mean, based on the numbers, right, currently Rodrigo is getting better chances. But as I've said, right, that's because he's playing as a striker. But when Bamford comes back, I think those numbers go down, right? And Harrison's numbers going to stay the same because he's still going to play at the left wing, right? So Harrison, I think, definitely worth a shot in the next few game weeks. I think more of he's more of a player that you're gonna know where he's gonna play, right? But Rodrigo could be changing in the next couple of game weeks, and that makes Rodrigo a little bit more of a risk. Right, Emerson Royale or Trippier in my team? Trippier definitely, yeah. Adam says Trippier as well. Yeah, Trippier, I prefer him because Emerson Royale. I mean, he has been starting, right? But we don't really know how long he's gonna keep his spot for, right? Is he gonna start week in, week out? He has been, but if the next couple of game weeks he starts to drop in form, I think we could see Doherty come in, right? And Doherty is at a really nice price point. So Bosco says, any thoughts on Lucas Paqueta as he might be joining West Ham. I think West Ham is facing a little bit of a tough streak right now, right? So I'd probably wait for them to kind of come back, like to come and improve their form, right? Based on the fixture ticker, right? West Ham's fixtures for the next coming game weeks, at least the next 6 game weeks, right, is one of the better ones. I know the next 3 games are quite tough for them, but after that, right, they have a good set of fixtures, right? So in game week 5, I have it here, West Ham plays Tottenham at home in game week 5, right? Play Chelsea away in game week 6. Game week 7, they play Newcastle at home. So 5, 6, and 7 aren't that great, but come game week 8, 9, and 10 onwards, it gets really good for them, right? Everton away in game week 8, Wolves at home in game week 9, Fulham at home in game week 10. So I think this actually gives us a good time to kind of gauge as well, right? With the next 3 game weeks, if Lucas Paqueta actually comes in and plays some games and Wolves find some form, could be someone to jump on come game week 8 when West Ham's fixtures kind of pick up. Yeah. By the way, everyone on Salah, hold on. Alright. The chat bubble has gone missing. Alright. By the way, everyone, Salah best kept this week. Right? What's your thoughts on game week 5 cap? Because for me, it's Jesus, because Haaland won't get as many minutes. I think the game week 5 captaincy is probably going to shift away from Haaland. He's playing Nottingham Forest, so actually I brought him in so that I can captain him in game week 5. But based on the fact that now he's slightly more of a minutes risk, I think possibly Salah. Thoughts on having Iverson over Ward since Iverson is cheaper by 0.1 mil? I don't... Oh, you think Iverson will start soon? I think it's tough to call, right? It's tough to call whether Ward or Iverson will start, right? But a lot of people are shipping Iverson out, right? And that's because they think that Ward will keep his place, right? So for me, I think it's tough to call, right? And I still think that both of them shouldn't be your starting keeper, right? So just put them on the bench, right? And I still go for Ward at this point in time. Which Prem team do you follow? Right, I support Chelsea. But I mean, based on the last game week, we did really, really bad against Leeds, right? So, hoping that we come back this week against Leicester. Leicester also haven't been doing really well. So, I think kind of a good game for us to kind of come back. And defensively, Leicester has been really poor. So, I'm hoping that players like maybe Sterling can start to convert some of his chances. Because Sterling actually has been a very good... he's been getting a very good statistics based on the chances as well. So as a player, I think Sterling, hopefully some returns there for him. Agree with you. Right. And also game week 8 to 11 fixture seems to be a bit disaster as there are a lot of matches between strong teams and big 6. Should I take a free hit there or how should I adjust my team? I think because we're talking about it now, there is so much time from now up till game week 8 to kind of make our transfers arrange our transfers in such a way to have those players in by the time come game week 8. So I don't think it's necessary to free hit because free hit is actually probably one of the better times to use it would be the blank game weeks later on in the season where only 4 or 5 teams play in one game week, and then that's the ideal time to use the free hit. Right? So I wouldn't free hit, right? Definitely, and I would probably just kind of make my transfers, plan my transfers accordingly, so that I can have those players in just for game week, just nice for the time come game week 8. Yeah. Couple of Man U fans in the chat as well. FPL Josh says he's very, very happy. I think thinking about it from a third party point of view, because I don't support Liverpool or Manchester United, but coming from a third party point of view, I actually think that was the perfect game, right, for Manchester United to come back. I know there was a lot of talk about whether there would be protest. Right, there was a lot of talk about whether the game was going to be called off and things like that, but I think that was the perfect way for Manchester United to respond. Right, so happy for you, FPL Josh. I'm getting rid of my 8 mil price point midfielder to change my structure, bring in Tony. Hope I don't regret. I really don't think the other 8 mil mids are that attractive as well, right? And honestly speaking, I think Gundogan at 7.5 is better than all of the 8 mil midfielders. Yeah, so FPL Diamond, I don't think you would regret it. I mean, based on the information we have now, of course. Will James play centre back or right wing back? This is really tough to call, right? Tuchel is gonna make the decision, but for me, I think it's really a 50-50. Really can't call whether he's gonna play centre back or right wing back. The past couple of games he's been starting at centre back, right centre back. So I don't really like that, right? But we've seen as well in game week 2, right? Azpilicueta comes in, James moves to the right, right? He plays right wing back, gets a goal against Spurs. So I mean the risk is too great to not go with James, right? So I'd say just hold him. Hopefully he plays right wing back more often, right? Adam says, I think if Fabinho is back for Liverpool next game, they'll be very good since, yeah. Liverpool is actually facing a lot of their key players being injured. So I think a lot of their results now are actually results that have come because their key players are injured. Right? I still do think they're a good team. We know the quality is there. So come at the time when most of their players are back, right? Players like Thiago, let's say, players like Fabinho, I think it will take time for them to come back. But when they do, I think Liverpool's gonna improve their performances. But if they're gonna start with Milner and Henderson in the midfield, I don't think they're strong enough. Right. Devansh says, should I play KDB or Gundogan? I think you should play both. I took Kane out to take KDB. If you have both, I think you should play both. Right, definitely not gonna bench either. Thoughts on triple captaining Salah, please? Not this game week, not this. I mean, I usually go with the statistics, right? So I'd wait for a double game week, right? But if you're kind of looking at it from a fixture perspective, right, Bournemouth at home is the best fixture for Liverpool at this point in time, right? But I personally wouldn't, right? But I would understand why you're thinking about it. Zachary Jones says, what would be a wildcard team for this week? I actually released a couple of wildcard videos. So those would be my wildcard team. It's actually this back four, right? Sanchez in goal, this back four on the screen right now. Gundogan, Salah, Martinelli, and Rodrigo. And then, Gundogan, Martinelli, and Salah. And then up front, Tony, Jesus, and Haaland. Yeah, so that's actually the wildcard team I would go with. Adam Brick says, I don't have James in my wildcard team. Thoughts? I think a lot of people actually don't have James in their wildcard teams. But maybe a little bit of fan bias. But I still think as an asset, James provides really, really good attacking potential. So we're not just relying on clean sheets, right? So if he plays right wing back, he is the best right wing back up there, right? So really, really think that, I would have James, right? But I can understand why you guys wouldn't want to go with James as well, right? And a couple of you guys also going for Trippier instead of James, so I also understand that. Couple of United fans in the chat as well. Congratulations. Wanna bin TAA, too risky, but he's failing the eye test, though he has historical data on his side. I think he has more than just historical data on his side. His data for the current season, right, the first 3 games, they're pretty good. It's just that Liverpool are not converting his chances into goals, right? But when that comes and when they keep clean sheets, we're gonna see the returns for Trent again. So I wouldn't bin Trent. Yeah, Bosco says I posted a wildcard video. Thanks for becoming a member as well, Bosco. For those of you guys interested to support me, support the videos that I put out. I mean, there are hidden costs involved. So if you would like to support, right, you can become a member, and you guys get the emojis as well as the logos next to your badges, actually member badges next to your name, right? Just like Bosco. So if you guys are interested, you can click the join button next to the subscribe icon. Trossard or Gross? Devansh says Trossard or Gross. I personally prefer Trossard, right? But my main question is he worth the extra, if I'm not wrong, it's 0.8. Is he worth the extra 0.8? So I'm finding it a little bit tough to justify if he's worth the extra 0.8. So I may go with Pascal Gross. I actually did a comparison on their statistics, right, in the transfer targets video, right, that I posted I think 2 days ago, right. Statistically wise, based on the last couple of game weeks, Gross has the better stats, but just based on a attacking player himself, right, I prefer Trossard. Casemiro a good investment? I wouldn't go for Casemiro. He's a defensive mid, right? If anything, right, Casemiro actually makes defensive assets for Manchester United better. Yeah, I think the appeal for defensive assets, like players like Darlow maybe, right? Casemiro is going to be that shield for Manchester United. Right? We know he's a good player. So if that happens, right, Manchester United's clean sheets could be coming in, right? So appeal for their defensive assets becomes a little bit better. Between James and Zinchenko, for me, I think short-term James will play centre back. Yeah, fair enough. Couple of you guys asking about my age. I am actually not 16. I am 25 this year. Right, I'm from Singapore. Devansh says Zinchenko plus Dunk or Trippier plus Saliba. Wow. Trippier plus Saliba. Yeah, go Trippier plus Saliba. Raya or Sanchez this week? Do you have both? If you have both, it's kind of 50-50 based on the clean sheet odds. If you have both and you want to follow the chances of a clean sheet, Brentford is 2% higher to get a clean sheet than Brighton. So really, really close call there. Yeah, Bosco says Casemiro might not score goals. Yeah, 100% agree. Right, Zinchenko, Casemiro is a defensive mid. I don't see him getting a lot of goals. So yeah, Eriksen, Bruno, Sancho, all better choices. Rashford as well. If you could, would you have KDB over Haaland? Yes. If I was cutting now, KDB over Haaland. Thanks for the support, man, Bosco. Really, really appreciate it. Adam Briggs, I have KDB over Haaland due to Haaland's minutes risk. Yeah, right. If I'm pronouncing it correct, CN, yeah, definitely a good point there. I would, if I was cutting, I'd definitely go with KDB over Haaland. Should I do James to Perisic for a hit? Definitely not. When I try to get membership, I get not supported / available in your region. Yeah, memberships are only available in certain countries for YouTube. I could possibly set up a Patreon, but I mean, not really. I mean, not really what I'm considering right now. Right, but I'm just more focused on putting out content for you guys. I actually really, really enjoy this whole process of putting out videos for you guys. I actually started this channel last year in October last year, right? So it's kind of almost been a year, and I put out a YouTube community post I think 1 day ago, right, to actually thank you guys for supporting me this whole week, right? Those of you guys here as well, right? Thank you so much for supporting, all the subscribers, all the likes, all the comments. I really, really appreciate it, right? It kind of keeps me going as well. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit slow on the chat. But thank you for tuning in, right? Really appreciate you guys coming down to watch the stream with me. 10 years on me and you look quite young. That's not a bad thing though. You guys actually don't think that I'm 25. I am 25. Thank you guys for thinking that I'm young. Veltman or Dunk? I think Dunk. Yeah, go for Dunk. The FPL scout is recommending having Nick Pope as the goalkeeper. For Newcastle, they're 31%, right, to keep a clean sheet. Brentford and Brighton actually have a higher chance of keeping a clean sheet, so I would actually prefer Raya or Sanchez. Sometimes I actually find the scout recommendations a little bit questionable. Other times they actually do well. So I mean, yeah. Do you have a championship favorite team? I don't watch the championship. If anything, I watch the teams who have promoted from the championship. FPL Diamond says his kid is 21. Awesome. Yeah, FPL Josh is 100% right. I'd rather have Raya and Sanchez rotate them than Pope. Yeah. Haaland is going to be benched for most midweek games. I think that could be a very, very likely possibility. FPL Diamond says he's in the Caribbean. Awesome. I mean, really, really nice to kind of see that YouTube is actually so global, right? I actually really like interacting with you guys, especially on live streams. I actually wanted to live stream in last season already, but I couldn't get the software up. So really pleased to interact with you guys finally, right? I think for those of you guys who want to be members but you can't become a member, I'll try to set up a Patreon soon so you guys can be members or Patreons if you want to, of course, right? Thank you so much for wanting to support the channel. Oh, my apologies, Keen. My apologies. My apologies. All right. FPL Diamond says he marketed me on Twitter. Thank you so much for the support, man. FPL Josh says, you live in UK, different time zone at 7 p.m. I live in Singapore, so it's actually 2 a.m. here, but I stream at this time because it's better for you guys, right? It's better for my viewers. So yeah, I just stream at whatever time helps you guys. And I'm willing to stream late if it means that I gotta stream late. Is 7 p.m. in Ireland too late though? Right, Veltman, more bonus points. I would say Dunk just because he gets the odd goal, right, Adam? Dunk gets the odd goal. Bosco says, oh, the league. Right, the league code is at the top, guys. It's 6XUINQ. Alright, it's at the top. A couple of you guys from Ireland, a couple of you guys from Nepal as well. Really, really, really nice. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hong Kong as well, right, Bosco? Yeah. Right, I should end the stream pretty soon, right? It's pretty late for you guys, but thank you once again for tuning in, right? Samyam says he's from Nepal as well. Awesome. Worth to toggle from Haaland to Kane week by week? Nah. Really, I wouldn't do that. I just make the change once and then stick with the player. Thank you. That's dedication. Yeah, I mean, I just love interacting with you guys. So I would do anything to kind of, anything that makes it better for you guys. You could stream 10%. You could stream 10 p.m. time, which is easier for you, which makes it 1 p.m. UK. I think the problem is I'm not sure if there are more viewers online at 1 p.m. UK time, which is in the afternoon or in the evening. If I'm not wrong, the viewership for the night streams as well are pretty high. VJ is from India, right? Really, really nice. 2 a.m. at Sengkang, right? So really, you're from Singapore, I'm assuming, right? Don't ever transfer Kane to Haaland back and forth, or Salah and KDB back and forth. Burning transfers. Yeah, 100%, right? FPL Josh, 100%. I don't think we should be moving back and forth. Is Neto out this game week? Maybe for Harrison or Gundogan. I mean, at this point in time, I think I can't make any more moves because I've already taken a -4, right? So I would be keeping Neto at least for this game week, right? My transfers I've already posted it on the team selection video. No, you get more views at like 7 to 10. Yeah, I mean, I think I may vary the times I stream, right? Kind of see where I get more viewers. I mean, it's just whichever timing suits you guys better, right? All right, Bosco says time to sleep as well. Thanks for tuning in, right? Have a good sleep. Have a good sleep, Bosco. Kane isn't good long term. I'd rather go Haaland to KDB and it's rotated loads. But for me, Haaland is sound for now. Yeah, I'm keeping Haaland at this point, but there's a possibility I could go for Kane next week. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. Right, it's really nice to interact with you guys. Right, I really love streaming. Now I wouldn't be streaming tomorrow. I'm probably gonna keep my streams to Friday, around the same time at this time. Right, then if I happen to be able to maybe stream UK in the UK time, let's say 1 p.m. right, then I may try that out and let's see which is a better timing for you guys, right? Perisic move, Robbo out before Neto out. Don't really understand what you're saying. I may, if you're talking about whether to move Robertson out before Neto, I actually move Neto out first, right? I've only keeping him this week because I don't have any, I don't want to make any more transfers and take hits. FPL Josh says he's gonna, yeah, check him out on YouTube if he's gonna make his videos. Yeah, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I will see you guys very soon. Right, all the best for game week 4. Thank you for tuning in again. Hit the like button before you guys leave and also subscribe if you're not already. Thank you once again for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the game week 5 videos. Right, if not, all the best for game week 4. I'll catch you guys soon. Bye bye.